going through caffeine withdrawal right now.
Oh yeah.
So I haven't had any coffee in, boy, since probably at least 48 hours.
I didn't see Black Rifle there, and I don't know if it comes in pods.
It might not be at Walmart only. It might be a Walmart only thing.
Well, I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
I don't go to Walmart unless I have to. It's hard to believe we were 27 below not that long ago. This is easier to deal for with winter though. It's like, this is pretty mild winter.
Yep.
But we were checked the device today and said it was 90% humidity outside.
Yeah.
It was worse than that last
night. It was foggy, yeah. That's
heavy fog.
I've had 2 dense fog advisories the last 2 days.
Yep.
But now you look and there's like next to no snow on the ground.
But yesterday when the interference started on the 9/7, this was reporting stuff out 100, 200, 400 miles to the east.
Interesting.
For ducting of some,
well, it doesn't happen all the time.
No, and neither does that. And I don't know if they're related or not.
Because we've had days though where there's no, you can't get any range on anything.
Yes.
And it still is burping.
Yeah, there's something.
But when they took off the preamp, and it seemed to help.
A lot of that stuff.
They took the controller off.
They just let them go back to the basic repeater. It might work better.
Yeah.
That's what they got on the 444.
Well, it's like the fancy controller don't do anything for us.
Not anymore.
Well, yeah, but
they got it so they could do. They got it so they could do the voice of the IRLP, which is dead.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I mean, we could probably hook Echolink back up to it, but
there's no point to that.
I don't know how many people would still use Echolink.
There must be somewhere.
Someplace, maybe.
And the Wires X works, but you get on to the North Dakota road and nobody's talking.
Yeah.
Might be 6 people on, but that's okay. I mean, but you can turn on one of the Texas runs. It's constant chat. That's no. Don't want that.
A lot of the really cool things we used to have are dead because either nobody wants to maintain them anymore,
or they've lost tower space, or whatever.
People have lost interest. Tower space,
That used to Superlink.
I think just a lot of them have lost interest in doing it.
Well, they got a phone.
See, well, yeah, the phone can do everything a lot of these other things used to do.
And you can use it 24/7 for help. Yeah. Since nobody's monitoring the radio 24/7. I was thinking about that the other day. Since nobody's monitoring the radio 24/7.
Yeah. Well, there's some people that are still doing it.
Apparently, this thing was ARPing for quite a while, and I didn't know it. I don't know how many days. Yeah, apparently I must have left it on.
Well, I didn't see it running much.
Well,
you're driving around and stuff.
Well, maybe I bumped it when I unlocked the car to check the oil. Maybe on
my truck?
Yes. I was sitting there. I fired up the Durango.
No, because when you were out driving around going to all these other places the other day, I did not see this ARPing.
Okay. So what may have happened was when I was checking Jen's oil, I decided to check the oil, showed her how it should look.
If it was on yesterday, maybe I didn't check it yesterday.
Yeah, but it was on.
When I'm looking for you when you go somewhere, and I'm looking for you or something or whatever, I don't see the truck open. So I don't. It might have been yesterday. I don't know.
It might have been yesterday when I unlocked the truck to check the oil.
I might have been.
I might have just unconsciously hit the button.
Yeah.
So I sat there and I fired up the Durango to go somewhere. And I went, wait a minute, why is the truck ARPing?
10's
so I
dead.
went back over and it was on. Yeah.
10 is absolutely dead.
Turn that off.
I'll get there when we get
turn it off when we get up there. But yeah, it's just. See, it's starting now.
Yeah. Whatever. It might be good today. It might not be good.
I don't know.
The stuff does whatever it needs to do.
I don't know.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, my back is letting me know that it's alive.
That's what mine's doing right now, too. All I have is a Tylenol on me, which really doesn't do anything for my back.
Well, it can help.
Sometimes if I'm laying down.
Oh, it's the tax.
Yeah, tax things. Yeah. Oh, there's a parking place right there.
Yeah, I'll scoot my butt over here. I forgot. Why is all these strange vehicles? That's why. Yeah, because Ralph parked over there.
Yeah. Probably was somebody parking here at the time. So.
Yep. I don't know what the best way out of here is.
Right, 16th.
Yeah, which way do I want to get the 16th from? Do I want to try to do it this way or that way? Yeah, but I'm pretty much blind to the right when I go this way, though.
You good? I think we're good. We're good. Or I can go down to University and around.
Yeah, okay. We need a little bit of air moving in here. A little bit of heat. Mess there.
Yeah.
They're building something behind this house. I don't know if it's a garage. Yeah, it's a garage. Okay.
Yeah, my right knee is not having fun today.
I bet these are pretty expensive houses.
Yeah, but most people probably bought them in the 90s, 80s.
When they were a lot cheaper,
yeah.
Yeah, look like very nice. Nice view.
Probably, most of these, probably 120 to 180,000 for most of these.
Yeah, probably.
For most of these.
A good view from up here. You're not going to flood up here.
No.
water to get this high would really be bad, dude.
I know some of those houses I don't think are quite the 230,000.
Some of those up
the newer ones,
yeah,
the newer ones,
the
probably 230,000.
Yeah, yeah.
To 250,000 if you have the view. If you have the view.
We drove by the one over by the country club was $800,000.
Well, yeah, but look how new it is too, and look where it is too, and how big it is.
Yes.
5,000 plus square feet. It's got 3 garages, and it's right next to the golf course. Yeah, of course it's going to be expensive.
Yeah.
But still, when I talked to some of my friends that live in other parts of the country, and I'm like, "Oh, that's only 800,000." I'm like, "Oh, that's cheap." I'm like, "The heck you say?"
Not up here. You know.
Well, yeah, but in our area, a house like that would go for like $5 million. I'm like,
if I could.
Well, that's nice. I'm glad I'm not there.
Well, if you could pick one up for $50,000 or $60,000, I would consider moving out into it. You'd get something.
That's probably like that right there.
Smaller than that, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably 80,000 or something.
Yeah, you know.
Especially this close to the university.
And it's going to flood here too. So.
Yeah, well, yeah. Especially that close to the university.
Especially down there. Yeah.
Now some of these newer ones, or these like townhouses.
They're too close.
Or apartment thingies.
Yeah, they're too close to the river.
Well, kind of close to the university too.
Well, I don't mind the university. I wouldn't mind going and taking more classes there, but
if you can find out where the last flood was and where the level of the flood came to,
and then make sure.
Then you buy north of that.
Well, you need higher.
Higher than that.
But we know that they built the dike around the university, but we know that this got flooded.
Yep.
That got flooded, and Barry and Jill's first house, mine, got flooded.
All the way up to the roof.
Yep. Yep. So we know that. Not the second story though.
Well, you know what's funny is it's just a couple houses down from them, right next to the river. It was up to the ceiling.
Yes.
In fact, my one friend's house, all that was left was the door and the frame.
Yeah, we saw.
Whole house gone.
But when we looked at buying that house,
the frame was stronger than the house was.
When we were thinking about buying that nice house, well, we thought it was a nice house next to Lincoln School.
Well, this is where Barry lived, and my friend's house was
the one that's got.
Not that one. No, not that one. It was actually one that was over here.
Oh, they rebuilt.
Because they rebuilt a new one. Yeah, it was like right over in this area here.
Like there.
Something like that. Yeah, something like that. The only thing that was left was the frame and the door.
You remember when we came through here and the water was blowing up
Oh yeah, right here, just shooting up about 5 feet.
Yes, that was scary.
Of course, the river was like
and of
right
all
there.
the days for you not to bring your camera.
Yeah, I know. I didn't bring my phone either.
It's okay, Jeff. It was an experience to say the least.
Didn't have a GoPro then. Didn't bring my cell phone.
Well, again,
not that would have worked all out well either. But
everything was overloaded.
But yeah, I had to bring that little teeny handheld video camera. Boy, has technology changed since then.
A lot.
In terms of video recording, what I had.
I had to stop and lower the antennas to get underneath the underpass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad we didn't buy that now.
Well,
we could have bought something out of town 50 miles, but that would have.
That still should have flooded.
Yeah, well, that's depending where you were at. Yeah, that is a good point. Yeah.
Some people that were living west of mine had never had their house ever flood, including in '69.
Yeah.
And then 2011 it flooded.
11 was a bad year.
Yeah, that was really bad. Well, 2009. 2010 blizzard.
Yeah.
Season was bad, and then the 2010 to 2011 was even worse.
Yeah.
And then
we got
the rain,
and then
they had rain, and then they had rain again.
And that was the final.
And then during the flood, they rained again.
Yeah, it was bad.
Didn't help anything. No.
But the difference between the '66 flood and the '11 flood, huge difference in depth.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was bad.
They also had smarter ways they were doing flood control too.
Yeah, well, they had a lot of and they learned a lot from it. You know, so chiropractics in there. Okay. Well, they got a use for that building building. When they get done building all the dikes and everything. Well, yeah, we went to Roosevelt Park and it was all blocked off.
Yeah.
You could get to the swimming pool and that was about it. Everything else is, they're going to be chopping trees down, and there was already a pile of dirt. There was already a pile.
They've needed to trim those trees for a while.
Well, they're gone. A lot of them are gone.
Well, some of them were damaged because of that whatever fungal thingy.
Yep.
And then a lot of other ones hadn't been trimmed in like 5 years either.
Or whatever. But yeah, there's anyhow, a bunch of them are going to go.
That's fine. They can do that.
And they're going to build a dike all around it, or a flood wall, or both.
They finally got down to that point now.
Yep.
So it's going to destroy any view of the river.
I think you're right. But
That's
it will make it.
Sad, but then
And they got to move the North American wildlife at the zoo over to the south side, which is going to go where all those big old beautiful.
So I wonder how that's going to work with the bridge that's there.
Well, it's a good question, Jeff.
They're going to put locks in there like they do with the traffic. I think that's the only way they're going to be able to do it. They're going to have to put locks somehow in there.
The train's still going to be there when they get done with it all, I guess. It's going to go right up to the edge of the zoo. The edge of the zoo is going to move.
The toy one?
And the edge of the zoo is going to move north from that side. To cross the river, gone. It'll just be a park.
That's not going to have that part?
All the North American game that were across the bridge.
The bison and
they're coming to the other side. And they're going to
that's going to be
They're going to put them north of the, where the Medal of Honor Park's at?
Yeah.
It's going to be north of that. It's where they're going to stick all the North American stuff.
Somehow it's going to be interesting.
Somehow the train's going to continue. I don't know if it's going to go in a tunnel or be raised or whatever, but they're going to have the train run.
The little kiddie train?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, that's what I hear.
That'd be interesting.
But and then whole stuff on the north side of the river is going to become a big park. Probably called Roosevelt Park. They'll plant trees and stuff like that.
Yeah, for 5 years, then they'll decide they need housing.
Whatever. But they're in the process, and they had a bunch of stuff flagged and staked already.
Interesting.
But Mom and I went over there one day to look. Like, whoa, we can't get over there. That's all going to be. Okay, that's a big pile of dirt.
Yeah.
Not much right now.
A little bit of flow there. One of my friends was talking they were out ice fishing somewhere in Alaska, or no, in Canada, and everybody, they said the ice was supposed to be thick and everything was able to support everything. There's a bunch of vehicles out there ice fishing, and said the guy brought out his 3/4 ton truck. Well, they had trucks that were ton and a half out there.
Yeah.
And the guy's truck was sitting there next to his campsite, and 3 o'clock in the morning it fell through.
Single wheel instead of double wheel, probably.
Yeah.
Didn't spread the weight out far enough. Yeah, I looked at that when people would drive out on the ice. I said, my car or truck is not going on the ice.
They thought it was just a one-off thing or something. And then 2 days later, another person's truck that was only half-ton fell through.
That means it's time to get off the ice.
Yeah, they said they did some test holes, and the test holes came back warmer
and thinner than they expected.
Yeah. So that was they made a judgment call that all vehicles have to be off the ice.
Well, those folks that fell in got to get their car out of there too. Somehow.
Good luck on that one.
Yeah.
Apparently it's kind of deep.
Yeah.
Apparently it's like 100 feet to the bottom.
Yeah, well.
So getting their vehicle out is going to be fun.
Impossible, yeah. Well, anyhow.
Not now, probably.
Before I got to Clear, in the winter, if you wanted to go to Fairbanks, you either drove down to Anchorage and looped around and came all the way back up the Alaskan Highway, or you drove across the ice.
Well, they were talking about the one that's up in Canada, Western Canada or something. That's the one that it's like you can see through in the summer all the way to the bottom, but it's like 500 feet.
Oh, jeez.
But the water is so crystal clear.
Yeah.
It's like you can see logs on the bottom of the lake that only look like 20 feet away from you, but it's 500 feet down.
It's a pretty.
But you can see as if it's crystal clear.
It's that clean.
Yeah.
Don't want your gasoline going down there. I'll come to the top and you burn.
They don't allow vehicles to cross that when it's AC, but my God, if it fell in,
Goodbye.
it might be a permanent structure down there.
Going south, yeah, going down. All right.
Maybe a permanent structure you can see for a long time.
Yeah, but you used to drive across the ice, and the question was, when is it safe for the first vehicle to drive across the ice, and when is it safe for the last vehicle to get across the ice? Because in the summer they ran a ferry back and forth so you could go. So they built the bridge to nowhere, which is actually a bridge to somewhere, because that means you can get to Fairbanks without having to take a ferry or go on this 600-mile ride or farther.
Detour.
Yeah, it just so it really made it better, a lot better for Terry. And the one they built up there by not Nana, but the other one on the Yukon, I can't remember the name of that town. They built it to the opposite shore, a road, and so you're going in the winter. You can be able to drive the road.
I'll tell you how cold it is up in Alaska right now.
Not very.
No, actually, it's pretty cold. They said that I was watching one of these YouTuber people that were trying to live out in their 1960 something.
Ooh, not enough insulation.
Range or Land Rover or whatever it is.
That's cold.
Yeah, I had to have the diesel heater going and the truck heater going, and had to have the thermal blankets with electric plug-in.
Boy, somebody stinks.
Yeah, not me.
Is it the food?
I think somebody's diesel truck or something.
Or somebody's steak getting burned on the grill.
Could be, yeah, over there. Yeah. Well, it's new, and they're probably just starting the cooking there.
That could be, or it could be a diesel truck in front of us or something.
Well, yeah, it was like 55 below for her, and she was just like 10 miles north of Fairbanks.
Yeah.
She said says it's not the coldest, because Coldfoot's right now is at minus 75.
Which
Fahrenheit.
is getting into the normal cold
Yeah,
for this
it's cold.
time of year. That's we were down. We had 60 days in a row. Our high never got above 60 below, and we got down to 78.6 below. And I talked to Doc before.
We're not even talking about wind chills here, aren't you?
No, real temperature, Fahrenheit. And then I talked to Doc, and he said the year after that it was 80 below in Fairbanks. And clear it was 78.6 below. And that's dangerously cold, buddy.
This is about the level of temperature you need for like spacesuits.
Well, I know I was out there by GI stuff on directed traffic at 60 below zero for an hour.
Yeah.
I was a pretty happy camper when I got back into it.
Wow.
Yeah.
But they said a lot of the truckers that go up there, they run their truck all night on high idle.
Yeah.
And they bring an extension cord in. They plug it in. They have two extension cords they plug in.
Yeah.
They have the circulating tank heater going while the engine's running.
It's that cold. Yeah.
They have the block heater plugged in while the engine's running, and they have the battery blanket with the charger running while the engine's running.
Because it won't charge if it's cold.
And they gotta have all that running with the engine fully buttoned up, in the front there, and then they hope that it will move.
Yeah.
When they get ready to go.
Oh yeah. Well then weird things like, well, I had it in first gear. Well, that's the gear you're going to use because you ain't going to be able to shift.
You're gonna have to get going here before.
Well, yeah, you pull the choke out a mile. And started waiting forever. Keep playing.
Well, that's what the one guy was doing. He said he had all that stuff going. And he says, then he had to bring his jet furnace thing that you use, the jet heater thing.
Yep.
He had to stick that underneath the vehicle.
Yep.
Put like blanket thingies around so the engine would heat wouldn't escape.
Yeah.
And he put it just underneath the transmission.
Well, because
he said the transmission was sitting above 32, but it wasn't allowing it to shift out of second gear.
No, not until it warmed.
So he had to heat that thing up. Luckily, he said he had inside of his truck, he had a temperature for the transfer case.
Yeah.
And the transmission fluid. And he said once it got up to 80, it finally shifted.
Yeah.
But only when it got to 80.
Well, it's like you're in first and you're staying on first, and you got square wheels too because the tires